Welcome, everybody, to the iBug Android Insight Call. Today is Wednesday, July 19th,
Hmm.
2023, and you are in the iBug Android Call, where we talk about all things to do with the Android platform. So if you have questions about the Android phones, cell phones, the tablets, anything from the Alexa devices to the Google devices, you are in the right place. In this community, we support each other, we help each other. So come in, ask your questions, and enjoy a good, informative session. My name is Ava Caruth. I'm here in Houston, Texas, and I am one of your Zoom hosts for this call. And my co-host is Hershey. Hershey, want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. This is Hershey from Central Florida, and I welcome everybody to tonight's iBug Android Insight call and look forward to seeing what we got to talk about tonight.
Okay, well, just a little housekeeping for um ibugtoday.com. You can go there, and if you want to look at any of our back shows, you log on to our ibugtoday.com website, go to the iBug Android Insight tab, and you can always listen to any of our previous shows um, that you want to hear. As well as here are some of the iBug upcoming events for this week. We have the movie on Friday night, which is Primal Fear 1996, and you know that starts the movie starts at 8, 7:30 is the social hour. Then we also have the iBug Apple workshop, which will be Saturday at 2 p.m. and it's all on the same Zoom link. And Hershey, I believe Thursday night is the iBug Trekkie night.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's on their Thursdays.
Yep. So if you want to know about any further events or sign up and get a list of them for the whole month sent to you, always go to ibugtoday.com and you can sign up and you will get an email at the beginning of the month letting you know all the events for the whole month as well as they come up during each week. So um, well, we want to go ahead and let's do a little introduction. Everybody, let's just introduce yourself. Let us know where you are from. If you're new to our iBug Android Insight call, please let us know what type of device you have and where did you hear about us from.
This is Julie from Houston.
Hey, Julie. Nice to have you on the call tonight.
And
Foster Brown, Houston, Texas.
Okay, I see a trend. Houston, Houston. Hey, Foster, how's it going, man?
Hi, my name is Shay. I'm in Seattle. I've been coming for a while.
Hey, Shay. Welcome to the call. And thank you for
Thank you.
coming. It's what, like month 7, month 8? Who's counting?
Hmm.
Gloria
Richard.
Houston.
Go ahead.
Gloria Houston.
Hi, nice to have you on the call. Welcome.
Thank you.
Richard from New York.
Hey, there he is. How's it going, Mr. New York?
Hot and rainy.
Hey, that's Florida. Calm down.
This is Dan from Southern.
Go ahead, Dan.
This is Dan from Southern California.
Hey, nice to have you on the call, Dan.
Hello, this is Eric Hartman from Dallas, Texas. And I signed up with you at the National Federation of Blind Convention.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Well, welcome to the call.
It's Janice from Maryland.
Hey, Janice, welcome to the call this evening. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, this is Diana from Tulsa.
Hi, Diana. Nice to have you on the call. Appreciate you here.
Happy to be here.
Thanks. Wow, a lot of new names. Wow. Any more new names? Keep going.
Hey,
Yes.
it's Mandy in
Mandy.
Cincinnati, Ohio. Hey, and Ava, one of the questions you asked at the top of this was how did you hear about iBug today? And it was Hershey who told me about it. Hey, there's this cool resource.
I did nothing.
Yeah, and I've been enjoying it ever since. And then have a few different Google stuff here and there, like a Chromebook and a Nest Hub. It's not the thermostat, but it's like
so cute.
Yeah, and some Google Home Minis just everywhere we could put them, and a few old tablets. But yeah, enjoying the information. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I hear that mic from anywhere. Who could that be?
Okay, well, does anybody else would like to introduce themselves, or if not, I want to kick off our hour, Hershey, and let's see who enjoyed Prime Day. And if you found any
Wait, when was
new
that again?
devices.
Oh, man.
Because as you know, Amazon had their Prime Day on the 11th and 12th of July, but that week, Google also jumped in and did something for that week, as well as several other stores have jumped on the Amazon Prime bandwagon. So I know I saw a lot of good sales on Google Store and a lot of good sales on the Amazon store. So if anybody jumped in and enjoyed some of the bargains, what type of devices did you look at or were you interested in?
This is Janice.
Yes, Janice.
I tried to, but the item I wanted, the price went up.
Oh, wow.
So I have the Bose Sport earbuds. So it has, the cord so that, if your earbud falls out, I'm not like, feeling around for it or whatever. So it just kind of hangs around my neck.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I like that. And but I've had the one I have for a while and it's not charging to 100%. So I was like, okay, let me get another pair. But the price I checked it before Prime to, refresh my memory of how much I paid. And then on Prime Day, it had gone up $20.
Oh, wow.
So maybe it just wasn't included.
This is Foster. Do those Bose, do they have Alexa built into them?
No, they're Bluetooth, so I can activate my Alexa, voice activate my Alexa, but they connect through Bluetooth.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I behaved, Ava. I didn't.
I can tell you Ava didn't behave, but as Foster can tell you, between me and him, I'm up there. I like to check out new Bluetooth devices all the time, headphones. So I may have to look into those. So,
You
yeah.
know, another thing that Janice said, because you know the Pixel Buds, you know, they come separate like that, and kid you not, every time I wear them, one of them ends up sliding out my ear.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought. So they have you know, you can find accessories everywhere, but being that I'm on Amazon, I just go there. But they have a cover, like they have a cover with the carabiner that you can use to clamp it on. And then it also comes with a strap that you can put over both earbuds. So then that way, if you wear them and one of them slip out, it won't fall to the ground. The strap holds it, you know, holds it in place so it won't fall if the headphone slips out of your ear.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else?
This is Kevin. I got the Bose Bluetooth speaker, the SoundLink Flex.
Okay.
Was it discounted?
Yes, it's $149, and it was down to $105.
Ooh.
That was a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I actually got the Echo Pop
Hey,
that
hey,
cost.
hey.
Yeah, and I actually got it for $17.
Woo.
So that
That was
was
a
a
good price.
good bargain. Plus, they offered it again for $18 if, and it gave the light bulb with it.
Oh
So
yeah,
describe
okay.
the pop.
Huh?
Describe the pop.
Oh, shoot, that is so cool. I'm glad somebody asked. Uh-oh. I haven't set it up yet, but
Oh,
the pop,
well.
it looks like if you take an orange, a nice big
Hmm?
orange,
Mm-hmm.
and cut it in half, and you sitting, it's not laying on its back on the round part, it's actually sitting up, so the half you cut is looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this device also, one of the accessories with it, I cannot talk today, um, is a portable charger. So let's say you wanted to take it outside with you, or in your backyard, or you know, in another room, sit it in your closet while you're working in your closet. Okay, you can
Mm-hmm.
actually put it on the portable charger and take it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Ava said, it's like almost like a big orange, or almost you said like a grapefruit, the size of a grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
And it sits is when you set it on the counter or wherever you set it, it's actually it'll be facing you like at a what about a 40 maybe 60-degree angle, something like that, 45-degree angle. So
Yeah.
it's shooting up at an angle. And then for those that have a little bit of vision, there's a whereas the Echo, like the Echo Dot and the other Echo devices, the blue light goes all the way around it. On the
Mm-hmm.
pot, it's just like about a fourth of it, about a fourth of the edge has the light bar for notifications and whatnot.
Like around the bottom or around the top?
The top of it,
Uh-huh.
the top of it. And then my wife got me one for Father's Day. And then what she did, the accessory she got for me was it's a wall mount, and so it's pretty cool because it still comes with that big power brick, and so the wall mount fits over the power brick. You can wind the cable up, the AC cable up, and put it in there, and then you run the end that connects to the pop. There's a little hole to run it through, and connect it into the pop. So it's like a little cradle. So and you can pretty much mount it on any wall with that attachment. and the sound is way better than the Echo Dot. Yeah, the sound they improved on the sound. I don't know how they did it, but the sound on it is way better than the Echo Pop. I mean the Echo Dot.
Yep. So
Is the sound better than the Echo Dot fifth generation? Because some of the reviewers on YouTube were saying that the fifth generation sounds better than the Pop.
I haven't heard the fifth generation, but I know like before they changed it, to the little the ones before they changed to the little Epcot Center, the little crystal ball shape, it sounds better than those. But I don't know how it sounds in comparison to that. I think what they did with the Pop was, remember they had the Flex, the Echo Flex, the one that you just plug directly into the wall.
yes.
That didn't go over so well, so they don't even make that one anymore. So I think they did the Pop as kind of a medium between the Flex and the Dot, because it's smaller than the Dot, but then larger than the Flex. But it's still an Echo device, so.
Yes, it is. And as you can see, Amazon even had their fifth generation ones on sale. So y'all just remember, next Prime Day, just keep looking out for themselves. Because I think they did a wonderful job this year. But looking at everybody who was jumping on board, even when I swung around to the Google store, I
Mm-hmm.
saw they had a lot of good sales over there as well.
Mm.
So, especially with the not Echo, Pixel Buds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, they probably didn't have the tablet on sale because that
Nah,
just came out.
nah, I looked at it, believe me.
Mm. Now, did Best Buy have a sale? Because
Yes.
usually whenever Amazon does theirs, if you notice, Best Buy does theirs too,
Yeah,
and
actually that week it was Amazon, Google, Best Buy, Target, and Walmart
yeah, yeah, yeah.
did
For Walmart,
sales.
you have to be a Walmart Plus member to actually get the discounts.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you join everything, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
because it does give you free delivery like Amazon. So
Mhm.
yeah, so
Yep. So,
yeah,
all right.
yeah, yeah.
So,
My wife got upset with me because I was looking at YouTube and I'm trying to cast from my Pixel 7 Pro, and I cast to the wrong TV. So and she
yeah.
said, "Damn it, this is too much technology."
All right. Well, I know that's what my house is getting to. Well, now, so we've talked about the Amazon week. So, anybody has any questions, comments, any concerns?
This is Shay.
Yes, Shay.
So it reminded me when you said cast to the wrong TV. Occasionally lately, I will be playing with my phone or just listening to music, and all of a sudden it'll go quiet and I don't have any internet connection. And I go to see what's going on, and somehow it's connecting to my printer to be my Wi-Fi. And I've checked my settings and I've looked around, and I'm wondering if maybe it's warm in my pocket and I'm rubbing something, or I don't know. Or if it's just a common glitch. Fortunately, I know how to find it and fix it right away, but just wondering if anybody else had been having little gremlins like that.
Okay. Anybody else? Well, Shay, I can honestly tell you, I have that gremlin. except for mine passes to, I have a guest Wi-Fi set up as well as my secured one. And for some reason, everything I have is flipping to the guest, especially my phone. So
Mhm.
I have the same little gremlins working in my phone as well. So
Well, if I pinpoint the exact source of it, I'll be sure to let you know.
yes, that would be grateful.
This
Anybody
is
else?
Richard,
Yes, Richard.
and I have the same issue. However, mine is my smart TV. Sometimes, on occasion, even when I first turn it on, it says Wi-Fi not connected. Can check your service provider and try again. And it will happen even while I'm watching. I have it on, it's playing what I want to watch, but all of a sudden it will go out and says it's not connected. So I'm having it in my TV.
Mm.
Okay, Richard, I have to agree with you because my TV does it as well. So I just figured,
And
go ahead.
however, when it goes out on the TV, it does go out everywhere too. So my phone will say it, and Alexa will say it too. So
Yeah. Well, I'm just having it when the TV go out. I check everybody else is still up and running, and then it will come back in. So I guess my gremlins are just having fun with all my devices, at least just with my phone and my TV right now. So, but yeah, if anybody in Shay, if you figure it out, just let us know.
Thank you.
Hmm. Yes. Anybody else?
This is Dan with a question.
Yes, Dan.
Okay, I'm running Chat GPT, the skill on my Echo Plus, and it crashes a lot. And I'm wondering if anybody on this phone is running Chat GPT on an Echo Show, the latest Echo Show. My assumption is that it's probably going to run better on the Echo Show. I don't know. Anybody running Chat GPT on an Echo Show?
Okay. Anybody have a comment or know about that?
This is Janice.
Yes.
No, I'm not to answer your question, but I just recently downloaded the AI Call Annie. So maybe you want to try that one and see if that one works better on your Echo Show.
I don't have an Echo Show, but is there a skill for Call Annie?
Yeah, there's an app. I don't know. I don't know if there's a skill for Call Annie. You'd have to check.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So Ava, this is Janice. I have a
Yes,
question.
Janice. Yes.
So I have a Samsung Smart TV and I have a Samsung smartphone.
Yes.
How can you describe to me how using my Google Assistant, what would I say to play my YouTube videos on my television?
Okay. Does anybody have an answer for Janice?
This is Richard.
Yes, Richard.
Are you using Google or are you using Alexa? So it's like, hey, Google or Alexa, what one are you using to
Google.
activate it?
I say, hey Google, whatever. Yeah.
Usually you would do that with the TV directly. There's if you have the television remote, there's a button, and you would speak into that. If you want to
Oh,
use
that
your
same one that I use to change the channels when I. Oh.
yes, because I got mine the same thing, and I'm like, why isn't it? It's saying connect to my TV, and my phone lets me, but okay, when I go to the Hey Google on my phone, it's playing it on my phone, but it won't connect over to my TV. So there's a button, and usually it's the power button on the remote is upper left
Right.
corner on the very top.
Uh-huh.
And the button that you talk into is dead center right below that.
Right. So then I would just say, hey Google, play YouTube, whatever, into that.
Yes, but make sure you push that button and hold it. You can't just push it. You actually got to push the button and hold it, say what you want. And you don't even have to say, hey, Google to that. You just actually push the button and you just say what you want and then let go.
What YouTube video you want to let go. Okay.
Yes, whatever you want to watch and whatever. But you have to say the app you want to use, you got to activate it all the way through. If you want to watch Tubi, Pluto, or Netflix, or the one you're trying to, you got to say which one you want in the whole thing, and it will
Okay.
bring it up on your TV.
I think I can do that. I think I can do that.
No, and Janice, with the Samsung TV, it's actually Bixby that it's using.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
and
using Bixby. Okay.
yeah, it's using Bixby. But yeah, as Richard said, if you push that that little button there, you can say play such and such on YouTube, and it'll pull it up. But if you're on your phone, if you pull up your YouTube app, okay, and you find a song, because I do this all the time, because I may find a playlist I like listening to. And then once you start the playlist, if you go back up to the top of the screen, it will say cast. And then once you tap on that, it'll pull up your TV if the phone and the TV are connected to the same Wi-Fi.
That's what that means.
Yeah, so you do that and you'll see your TV in the list, and then you just double tap on that and it'll throw it to the TV from your phone.
Gotcha. Okay, I've learned something. Okay, I've learned two things. Okay. Oh man, I'm almost tapped out. Okay.
And this is Foster. And
Yes,
then
Foster.
once you cast it to the TV, you can actually control the video from your phone. You can play, pause, scrub it forward or backward.
Really?
Yeah.
And then, so where are those controls, like to pause and play? I mean,
it's gonna be on your telephone.
It'll be on my telephone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could do it on my telephone and it'll pause it on the TV. Gotcha.
Right. Like my church broadcasts, my church broadcasts on YouTube. And so on Sundays when I'm looking at service, I'll cast it to my TV, and then I can still control the video on the phone, and then I can also participate in the live chat on my phone, because on your TV you can't actually do the live chat, but I can participate on the live chat on my phone while I'm looking at the TV.
So can I cast with my voice, or I have to push the button to cast?
You have to push the button so you can choose which device,
which TV to go to.
Correct.
And the cast button looks like what? What is the picture of?
It looks like a little TV screen, and has like it has like a little on the bottom left corner. It looks like a beam is going to the TV. That's what the button looks like.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Woo-hoo.
But your go ahead.
And I was going to say, if you're using the audio, this is Richard, if you're using the audio describing the talkback features on the phone, it will actually say cast button and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Perfect.
thank you, Ava, for that part of saying cast, because I don't know how advanced you are, how new you are to all these devices, so I wasn't wanting to go that advanced for you.
I'm not that advanced, but I think I can inch out and try that. So thank you all. Thank you very much.
And when Foster was talking about you can control it from your phone with pause, fast forward, rewind, and you have to be in the app itself on the phone, like YouTube, bring up YouTube, enter that, and then just look for a button that says control panel. When you see control panel, double tap that, and it brings up the features of pause, play, rewind, fast forward.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Welcome. As I say, like Foster, I do that for a lot of my even when I do the ambient sounds, I'll put it on my TV so I could hear it throughout my house.
Right.
So
I think I accidentally did it once and I didn't know how I did it. And I was like, okay, I got to learn how to do this so I know I'm doing it. So,
yep.
Thank you.
You will enjoy it.
The way I normally do it, this is Richard, the normally way I do it is I hook it through my JBL speakers. So not only do I hear it, but my neighbors too.
There you go. Yep. All right.
Okay, it's Mandy. I just tried on my Google Home. I told it to cast YouTube to family TV. And so that was already set up in Google Home, what we named our TV. So that worked.
Your TV is named. Okay.
And thank you again, Ava. That cast did make the difference. I was trying to say something else and all it would come up with was YouTube music. But yes, cast definitely makes the difference on that one too. So YouTube music was coming up when I was just asking it to turn on YouTube on the family TV or something like that. It was always going to be the music videos. But then, telling Google to cast YouTube to family TV worked for me. But of course, there was a little bit of setup involved before all that was could happen.
Right.
Yeah, that's the key thing, because with these devices, so if you have any type of Android phone, you have Google Home, which I noticed with this Pixel 7 Pro, it actually has a Google Home shortcut right on the lock screen. So what are they trying to tell you? So so you have to set it up, and if you can set it up by rooms, and then you can list what devices you have in each room, and so then you can tell it to cast in the guest room on the such and such speaker, so or you could say cast on all my speakers, and then it'll just light up the whole house and play whatever you want.
Just remember, you can always rename them.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Whether you're using a Google device or the Alexa device, because I have my Alexa devices labeled as Bear Office, Bear Master Suite. So, like Foster said, but even my Google device I have is labeled as Master Bedroom. So just remember, it's easier to rename. Like my TV is Samsung blank 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 IQ blank. I'm like I'm gonna remember all of that. So it's just easier even with your TV, you can always rename it in the device. So in the home app, okay, you can always, when it shows up, it gives you the option to rename it or tell it what room it's in, and then use it like that. Okay. Yep.
So this is Shay.
Yes,
And
Shay.
not to stray too far from the casting to the whole house, because I like to do that, especially when there's no one home. And I like to see if the radio will make the windows shake. But when my family is home, they don't really appreciate that. Do you think there's ever going to be a way where if I just have the phone in my pocket, the speaker will follow me from room to room?
You know what?
Little
I was
dark.
looking for something like that myself, Shay, and
Oh,
I have yet to find it because my wife is like, why are you just piddling around? I'm like, honey, that's what I do. I find stuff. I go to this room, I do something there, I go to this room. And so only thing I have is I just bought a JBL Flip 6 speaker. So I basically attach that to my hip and just walk around with my music. So
okay. Thank you.
And that's one thing we can always suggest to Google. Hershey, would you like to give that email how to suggest? Okay.
Email to join our mailing list is going to be ibug, IBUG.
No.
Huh?
The one for Google Help.
You want that email?
Google
Yeah.
I/O thingy.
But we want to first give them our email, man.
Well, yeah, of course.
Gotta get Google first, like for reals.
Oh, no, we got to get our props
Priorities,
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's g.co/disability support for that. But if you wanted to email us, the reason why I was giving you that other email is you could join the mailing list, and if you have questions like this, we could talk about it on the list. So that one was the iBug, IBUG, Android Insight, plus subscribe at groups.io. And if you just give us a blank email, you'll join a mailing list. And if questions like this do arise, we could kind of work together. And I always advocate that people use the g.co/disability support email. That's one way you could get a hold of Google through Be My Eyes if you needed to. You could get a hold of them through email and a phone call if you needed. So that is definitely an important tool to have, even if you are using a Samsung phone, you're using a different, Android phone. Definitely a good place. Of course, Amazon has its own bucket, so Amazon has its information. Maybe if anybody else on this call has a phone number to reach out to them, we'll be more than happy to share it. I know I've seen it on the mailing list, so those are a few resources there.
This is Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
It's going to be a much more expensive solution, but I believe that the feature of having the audio follow you from room to room or being able to, I believe that's one of the features of Sonos speakers. I'm not sure how you set it up, but I think that because I was considering getting the Sonos Roam, and there's some kind of way that you can make it go to the speaker that you're physically in, or because if you have the app on your phone, it'll switch to that speaker if that's what you wanted to do, or you can do whole house audio.
I will check that out for sure. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. You've given me another toy to look for. All right. Anybody else with another question, comment?
This is Richard.
Yes, Richard.
Hershey can go first if he wants to.
So yeah, I just wanted a quick comment on Sonos. With Sonos and what we have with Google speakers, there have been two puppies fighting in the pen, so to speak, and that's why some of these features aren't available on the Google speaker, such as playing on the left and the right. Google used to have where that feature used to work, but then Sonos said it's mine, and so yeah, there's a lot of great features, but again, send in your requests because every ticket that we file for what we want as how we want it shaped helps us. So go ahead, there, Mr. Richard.
Thanks, Hershey. And Hershey actually said something that was cool. Two puppies and dogs fighting in a pen, and that's kind of a good description here because I have lost my Android recently. I'm still waiting for the new one to be sent, and the puppy fighting in the room is going to be my iPad. they were synced together, and the lady from Commission for the Blind was wanting to kind of resync them together. And I'm thinking that's where I had the issues of why I lost my Android and why the iPad was messing up. Because talking to Android to try to correct the problem, to get that fixed, why it's not uploading apps anymore, why everything's coming up invalid. And then my iPad just was not putting passwords in. Passwords were coming up automatically. Then they were deleting automatically. And talking to both sides to correct both devices, they were telling me it's safer to keep them separate. And is that really true? That syncing them together is not something you should be doing?
Anybody have insight on this?
This is Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
What were you using to sync them together? And I don't understand them. That's two different ecosystems and just about.
It was the Google. My email account was it's a Google account, and it was the lady set it up from Commission for the Blind and put the email and Google account and everything into my iPad and transferred everything, my contacts, messaging, and everything went over to the iPad. And since that time frame, which was over a month ago, everything weird just started to happen. And it just dominoed when I kept trying to correct it. And eventually my Android just died. It just wouldn't accept anything.
Yeah, there's a sync app that you're supposed to use and the only thing that it's really recommended that you use it for is for your contacts. If you have all of your contacts going to Gmail and you wanted to have those show up in your contacts on your iOS device, then I think there's some sort of sync tool that you're supposed to use that's specifically for Gmail. The other stuff, just sign into your Gmail account. Most people just use the Gmail app for iOS and put their email in there and let that be done with it. But one of the differences is that I believe it when you go to YouTube or whatever, you're gonna have to sign into each of those apps. Whereas, like on Android, you sign in one time and that account controls everything. But there's no reason to sync anything except for contacts between iOS and Android.
And that was everything. I mean, she said that everything went over, and I even checked the iPad, and I'm seeing this is in there, that's on there, and it was shortly after everything was going haywire, and I had deleted and crushed and restarted everything with the iPad, and I'm hearing two sides here, and that's why I figured, let me see if I'm hearing the right thing, because both sides are saying it's best to really just keep them separate because of that issue. Android, like you just said, Android only wants certain things here, there, but Apple wants this, that, and everything else, and that's why they don't coexist with each other.
This is Foster. So were you just really just trying to sync your email and contacts?
No, she set up the iPad completely to activate it and everything, and when she set it up, she activated it all with the Google account through email and everything, and then just transferred everything from my Android over.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking, because the one thing with Apple, you can actually choose like you can choose a primary contact list, whether it be from Yahoo, Gmail, Microsoft. You can do that and it'll it'll sync your contact from your Gmail account. So once for me, I have three. I have the big three. I have Yahoo, Gmail and Microsoft Mail, so Outlook. So I use those three. And so on my iPad, I just, you with the with iOS and iPad OS, you can easily sign into all three accounts. But then, as far as my contacts, I made Google my primary for my contacts. So when I put a new contact, like in my iPad, or when I had an iPhone, when I put a new contact in my iPhone, it would automatically uh, sync it to my Google account anyway. So then, even if I have another Google device, I can still go in there, and all those new contacts are automatically um, automatically show up under my Google account.
Yeah, that was happening here. Everything that I was doing on the Android, if emails came in, or my contacts, or if anybody called, or if I called them, and emails if I sent, or emails were sent to me, even messages, if text messages were sent to me, and I sent text messages on my Android, that would show up even on the iPad. All of that would show up on my iPad: messaging, text messaging, phone calls, recent calls, emails sent or sent to me. They would all show up on the iPad as well.
Well, I'm thinking, this is Ava. What Kevin and Foster is saying is correct, but what happened was your counselor inadvertently, instead of looking at the fact that you have an Android and an iPad, an Apple product, you can use your Google on your iPad. That's not a problem. But what she should have done is all she had to do was check off, because it asks you, what do you want to sync? And all she had to do was check off the email and the contacts, not the apps, and leave everything else unchecked. Because no, Apple and Android apps, no. Yeah, that's where the problem came in. Versus trying to put your Android phone, everything on there on your iPad. All she had to do was just check off email and contacts, and she could have even checked off photos. Because I did that when I was going from one phone to another, and it gives you the option of what do you want to sync.
Yep, that's what
Yeah,
it
so
showed up.
she ended up syncing everything when she should have just synced your email and your contacts to your iPad. And just as Foster was saying and as Kevin was saying, then your Gmail account is where you back up everything to. So whatever you backed up on your phone to it would have went to your iPad anyway. And the same thing from your iPad to your phone. So that was just an inadvertent mistake that the counselor did by not knowing to just do that versus trying to put the apps on there and everything else. So yeah,
And
go ahead.
I even actually said it right at the beginning when she brought the iPad up and was going to activate it, and she mentioned that we can sync everything and transfer and copy everything. And I mentioned it to her. I'm like, I don't think that's going to work because they're already two different ecosystems. And as far as I understood, they don't even really like talking to one another. So,
yeah,
and
But
then she did it anyway.
But they do, like Kevin was saying, they do have programs that like actually Apple makes a program in the Play Store for moving your Google stuff over to Apple, but it's only for certain apps. It's not for everything. It the app will pull certain apps and stuff that also are Apple apps as well. So it's only gonna sync certain ones. Because remember, all this stuff is in the cloud anyway. So whatever you do, like on my iPad, I have all my Google stuff. I have Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, my home app, as well as my email, my calendar, So if I work in that stuff on one device, I hop over on the other device. It's already synced through the cloud, so there's really no special syncing that you have to do.
You're talking about move to iOS app, I think,
Right.
because that was what
Yes.
she did put. She said there is an app you can put on the Android itself, and it says move to iOS app.
Right.
And
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
what
it is.
she did do.
Right. But with some of that stuff, it's gonna be glitchy anyway. So sometimes you may have to more or less like reboot or restart to do it. So I've just gotten to the point where I don't even bother with that app. If I get a new device, I don't even bother with that app, because one thing, if you like with Apple, if you get a new device and you already have those apps on there, then of course you can use that little trick they have where it'll move everything you have on that device to the other. And same with Android, if you get a new device, you can just easily have it move everything that you have on that Android device to your other Android device. So I don't even bother with that. Trying to move between ecosystems anymore, because it causes problems.
And that was what I was told, trying to fix this problem and trying to figure it out. And when I finally got more into detail, I'm like, wait a minute, could this be the issue of syncing them? And Android's like, yeah, that could be an issue. Normally, we say to people, don't, if you're not that advanced or that capable, stay away from it, because it could, well, you just mentioned it's glitchy. And I was talking to Apple to try to fix the problem that was starting to come up on my iPad, and they mentioned the same thing. It's, one side wants too much stuff of information of this to that, but Android, they both want information, but not, it's different amount of the information one side wants to the other.
Hey, this is Hershey. So, one thing I also wanted to clarify with regards to who makes apps for what ecosystems. Um, Sometimes you'll have better fixes that happen on the Apple side of things to specific apps, but it may only be on the iOS platform, right? So when we look at various apps and the syncing and all that, those are two different problems because we're just thinking about our data that we have amongst whichever ecosystem. You could use Google Maps right on Apple devices. You could use Google Maps on Android devices. But what is the output of one into the other may differ slightly just because of accessibility tools, or maybe you have high contrast and you're using voiceover versus you're using talkback and color contrast. So, the information that we get is similar to what we are receiving from both parties, but we always got to remember that depending on what information you put in, such as your emails and stuff, well, those are available to you through your web, so www.gmail.com, or what have you, whatever email server, or it's available to your phone screen. It's available to you on your computer screen. It's so that you have different browsers, different methods of getting that. Is it through the Gmail app or this, that, and the other? So you don't always, pot in the, well, this is all that's going to fail to fail. It's just funny that there's a lot of development on Google products that happens on iOS and vice versa. With Android, we just need to make sure that what we receive when we're using Pixel devices or Samsung devices or OnePlus, Sony, etc., that they're all equal and that we have access to what we need when we need it and how we need it. So don't bother sometimes with the, well, you could transfer, you can't sync this, because sometimes these problems are ancient problems that we're not having anymore. And data flows pretty seamlessly at this point. So whatever you put into your Google account, zoomonkey123 at gmail.com, whatever you call it, it's going to go sync to that account. And it doesn't make a difference if you have an iPhone, if you have a Pixel phone. It's going to tell your account, oh, you activated an iPhone. Oh, I see you activated a Pixel phone. it's going to make a different profile for each phone. So don't get caught up with the hype of let me pay attention to this stuff because it's ever changing and that's technology, unfortunately. So, if we could give more help to the conversation, we'll definitely, keep an eye on that to ensure syncing is better. But I feel that every day, as these things where you put your phone next to each other and then they sync is getting better and better. It doesn't matter if it's iPhone or if it's Samsung or if it's Pixel. So we gotta trust that we're using their ecosystem and we have accessible tools.
All right, thank you, Hershey. And was that someone trying to ask a question or say something?
Um, Hello. Excuse me. Hello.
There you go. Yes.
Okay. This is Katrisa. I got a problem with Google on my Android. It's like, when I say hey Google, I guess it's listening. But when I say hey Google, something, 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 and then it'll repeat after me, and it'll keep going like hey Google, hey Google, hey Google, hey Google. And I was wondering does it do that? How can I get that to stop?
Any of our Googler people, Goog fans, have answers? Because yeah, I think I've heard this one specifically, Mr. Patricia, about that same one as you mentioned. Like it repeated those phrases over and over and over, and I'm just like, huh, okay. She's having a little bit too much fun today. But anybody have? I mean, all I could say is make sure you keep your eye on your updates. But that's
This
all I can
is
think of.
Kevin.
Go ahead.
Do you have a Samsung device?
Yes.
Okay. So part of the problem is that the Samsung and the assistant are out of sync. And so the reason that it's repeating it is because it's entering what you've said. So you'll notice that sometimes it's just repeating it over and over, or sometimes it's repeating and the statement is getting longer and longer. And it's actually saying the whole thing of what you said and it's adding words. So checking for updates helps sometimes, but it's just something that Samsung needs to fix, I guess, or I don't know whose side it's on, but the fact that they come, so the assistant comes from the Play Store, and and TalkBack comes from the Galaxy Store when you have a Samsung device. So for that reason, I use Bixby primarily on a Samsung device. I don't use the assistant as much unless it's just something that Bixby will not do. But Bixby does just about everything. So, but I use Bixby on my Samsung device so that both the assistant and the screen reader are coming from the same store.
What is the best phone to use?
So I don't have the over talking. I have two Pixel devices. I don't have the over talking with TalkBack and the assistant on my Pixel device.
Okay. So you just use Bixby on your Pixel device.
And you might not notice the problem as much if you double tap and hold the home button to launch the assistant instead of using the OK Google command. You might not notice the over talking as much.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, this is Ava. And I have to agree with Kevin because I have that same issue. I just don't have it when I'm using the assistant. When I double tap and hold the home button, I don't have that issue. But like Kevin, I have a Samsung phone and I prefer to use Bixby more so because I don't have those issues.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Janice.
Yes.
On the Google Assistant topic, so I have a Samsung phone and I use the Hey Google. And so I don't use the Bixby. I use the Google Assistant and I have the Google Assistant voice. But I've noticed that, say, if I say, "Hey Google," and ask it XYZ, then in a 5 minutes, "Hey Google," ask it, ABC, and then the third time I ask it, "Hey Google," it makes a notification sound in a different tone. So, and then if I open my phone, I see it hasn't recognized my command. So like I have to reset it so that it'll, answer me. You understand what I'm saying? So it'll answer 3 times, but 2 times, but on the third time it's gonna go blink and it's not gonna receive my command until I guess it's like clearing the cache or something by opening it, and then I can start all over. Anybody familiar with that?
This is Foster. So I don't have a Samsung, so I'm asking this question because I don't know. Is there a way to disable Bixby so that you can only use the Google Assistant?
Well, so I've been through that with them because I guess I don't care for Bixby because I hadn't been using Bixby. So they can't take it. They won't take it off. But yes, there's a setting where you can select your engine and you can select Bixby or Google. And I've selected Google. But it's like when I try to voice activate it, it'll only respond to 2 requests before like I have to reset it in essence by opening it, you know. So I'm trying to use it with my voice as opposed to holding down the home button or hitting the microphone.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead.
Yes,
This
Kevin.
this is just the same. It's just the syncing issue, and because I've had several Samsung devices and Pixel devices at the same time to compare it with, I think that accidentally on purpose, Samsung is trying to make sure. So the Bixby experience is just seamless. Like you don't have to worry about it. I don't know why people resist Bixby, but this is too consistent and it's been lasting for years and years and years. It's an ongoing problem, and I don't think that Samsung is in a rush to fix it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think you're right, Kevin. And me on a personal level, after experiencing like stock Android or like what's pretty close to stock Android, I want as close of an experience as possible. So that's why I went ahead and upgraded to the Pixel 7 Pro, and I'm loving this phone. This phone is.
Wait. This is Hershey. Wait. You're telling me you've left OnePlus?
Yeah, OnePlus has some nice features, but the 8, like I think it was Kevin or somebody saying before, the AI in the Pixel 7 it's awesome.
So let me ask you this about the Pixel 7.
Go ahead.
So I have the Galaxy Z Fold where it opens up and you have more real estate, a larger screen.
Oh yeah, the tablet. It opens up to
Well, I mean, it's not quite
Samsung
tablet
foldables
size, but
reunite, maybe.
pardon?
7 inches.
Yeah. So is there a large version like that in the Pixel?
Good thing you asked that question. because they're coming out with one soon. I think it'll be out by September, October. If you go on YouTube, which is what I look at, I don't really look at regular TV. If you go on YouTube, there's plenty reviews of the upcoming Pixel. I forgot what they call it, but
The Pixel Fold.
The
But I
Pixel
think
Fold.
it's shipping now. I think it's been
Is it
released
shipping
because
now?
all the YouTube videos are about that. They're emailing people.
Right.
The NDAs have been lifted and everything.
Yeah.
Is it hard to transition from the Samsung to the Pixel?
No.
Because once you plug your Gmail address in, it's just, you won't even notice. I mean, you'll notice a different experience because it's a different device, but you won't notice any.
Yeah, it's going to download all your apps and stuff like that.
I mean, but is it different to operate?
No, it's all Android.
This is Hershey. So, as a longtime Samsung user from probably my S2 days, is the menus are slightly different. So, I'll give you an example. Accessibility has its own little cozy menu on Samsung. Sometimes it takes me a couple of minutes to go to settings and find it in the middle of the burger, so to speak, because it's dab in the middle of all the menu settings. Again, the other part to update your system on your Samsung phones, there it says system update, and on Pixel devices or having that operating system, you're having to go find the thing called system, which is not obvious to not everybody, but to me it wasn't obvious. And then you're like, oh yeah, here it is, system update. Okay, let me double tap that, and then so there are a couple of nuances like that where the language and the deliverables are better on the other side of Samsung than they are on the Pixel side or Samsung to Pixel. So
somebody, I'm going to say somebody has a phone ringing. But I think they got it. Okay, go ahead.
Well, thanks. As soon as I bang this one up, which I'm probably inclined to do, I'll look into that for my next one.
I would say, this is Hershey again, as far as what foldable and what Samsung's doing and what everybody's technically following Samsung quietly, but they're not saying it out loud.
Right.
Just because the foldable came in that realm, and then here's a similar phone as the Pixel Fold, but then you're getting a clean Android experience. So now finally they're making apps and stuff that are legitimately workable on these phones. So I think the experience will be better on both sides of Samsung and Pixel, and even the watch. The Galaxy watches have proven to do better, and thus, the Pixel watches, the first watch came out, they learned a lot from it, and I think the watches are just going to improve from this point on, and taking fitness into account, and I think the ecosystems are blending pretty well. And one other ecosystem that I wouldn't mind diving into would be the Sony ecosystem. Maybe I'll go knock on their door or something. Maybe they'll let me in. I don't know. But it's just because they're doing a lot of cool stuff with camera stuff. They're doing a lot of good stuff with, just basic daily use stuff. And it's all in your phone, as they say. And if the screen reader aspect is met for people that are blind, the magnification stuff is met for people that are low vision, I think we have some competitive devices out there instead of kind of going to a third party where they take an old phone, rename it, and then sell it to us for thousands of dollars.
Yeah, this is Foster. So with Google going into the the large foldable with the Pixel Book, what it's going to do is, like with Apple, there's specific apps for iPad versus iPhone. So with Google going into that aspect, then it's going to encourage other people to produce apps that will use the actual full screen of the of the tablet. Whereas like I think Kindle, there's a couple of apps that just already flow with it anyway, like Kindle. Um, Google's updated the calendar, so you can do a couple of different things with the calendar versus just having a regular phone. So that's going to definitely help improve the Android tablet market, because that market's been lagging for years, ever since the Nexus devices. So Google going into that will help boost those developers into making apps for tablets.
Hey, but this is Hershey. As you're talking about tablets, what about your all's thoughts with Amazon tablets? Likey, no likey?
Straight Android. I don't bother with Amazon tablet, because any Amazon app, they make it on Google anyway, but not all Android apps work on the Amazon tablet. So personally, 100% Android. I'll just do an Android tablet.
Interesting, interesting. Any other thoughts out there, audience?
This is Suva. I have a different question.
Go ahead, Suba.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So you guys may have answered this question already. I joined a little late. It's for Android app, the Leisure app, the Leisure Reader specifically. I'm trying to figure out what is going on. I've heard an interesting story today. My question is this something that still people can buy in the App Store, or is this gone on to completely subscription mode for Android users also? Just trying to get an idea if anybody have used or what happened with the people who purchased the app before. And just kind of wondering if I can still recommend something to students, or is this gone on subscription model already?
And Suba, could you give us the back end spin on the story? So, is it on iOS now that is it Voice Stream is going subscription? Is that what
So Voice Stream and the Leisure Reader is both
one and the same, right?
one and the same, yeah. And yes, so what I'm hearing, it still works on my phone great. Yes, just a background, the app does deal with if you plug it connect it with your Bookshare account, it reads any text, and it gives you text to speech with nice voices. So that's what the app does. And in the iOS, I thought the message was about for the MacBooks only, but I'm finding out that might not be the case. Just want to hear the Android side of things. On people have it in their phones, or how do they show up in the App Store these days?
Very, very good question. Anybody have any insight on this? I'm actually trying to fire it up on my phone here. So if anybody else has any input, please feel free. Yeah, I'm just trying to pull it up on my end.
You're good. This is Suva, just so I can kind of continue with why am I asking this question? There was a Bookshare symposium today, and that's where they were talking about, they sold the person who developed the company for the different applications. They sold the company, and the new person who bought it, they are making all of these changes. That's why if you bought the package deal, which was Voice Stream Reader, the Voice Stream Reader scanner and all that stuff on iOS. I'm not sure. I think Android had a package deal too, but those other applications have all switched their names and everything. They're no longer called the same names that they were called, and you couldn't use some of the voices anymore. So it's very interesting that they can just switch out like that.
which which is the goodness and the sadness of it all, right? Because
Yeah.
this, by the way, this is Hershey, and I have it open. Like for example, the voice sharing comes from, I believe, acapella, and the voices that
Mhm.
they were using, and where I'm trying to determine what was the symposium, by the way. I missed the
It's the Bookshare Symposium.
Bookshare.
It's
Okay,
an annual
everybody has one of
Bookshare
these.
Symposium.
Okay, awesome. So what's interesting is the voice stream on the iOS side call this year now as well, or did they mention what company that the spinoff is going to be called into?
In the iOS side, this is Suva again.
Yeah.
It's still called Voice Stream. I need to go check on the App Store if they call it by a different name. But in the different applications, like the Voice Stream Scanner is now called VD Scanner.
Is that Zelda Delta? Is that what you said?
VD, it's
Okay, Victor.
Victor Delta, yes.
Okay. It's interesting, and here we are. Thank you, Subas, for bringing this up. I mean, this is why I kind of stick to my Google Lookout, or if Seeing AI comes up on Android, if they do, they do. But sticking to companies that are more reputable in this space, because this is the part that kind of makes me weary. Um, Even with the whole Be My Eyes thing, it's not out yet, but we're waiting on the Android version of the descriptions, where you could look at a picture. So I guess at the end of the day, it's all a big race with AI, and Google Lookout has a new thing coming out with their stuff where it will do similar things where it reads out what's in the image or what you're looking at as a photo. Um, I think, yeah, I found it on Google's YouTube channel. I'll send it through the iBug Android Insight email list. But yeah, there are a couple of videos that have come out that just kind of explain what has happened, what happened at GAD, what happened here and there, and I just say let's keep pressing on getting things better and letting them know that we do have an audience on the Android spectrum of users, right? We have many different users, but again, I ask myself this question when it comes to hardware: where do I draw the line in the sand? Do I tell a client, hey, don't get an A30 something phone, get an A50 something phone and above? Or do we tell clients don't buy an Amazon tablet because it's not worth it, or is it worth it? Right, because it does have voice view, it does have its screen reader and whatnot. It has its Braille keyboard or Braille input. So does Pixel, and after 6 months or more, Samsung adopts it. So just remember that many of this stuff comes from Pixel first. Uh, Thank you for bringing up like these controversies, or what I would say is people take our data, or hey, come on, join our stuff, we'll help you out, but they don't fix the stuff after they know that stuff is broken. So, any other questions, or Suba, if you want to add more to
This
it, please
is
feel free.
Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
So I'm a beta tester for the app, and I don't know if it's because of the version of Android that I'm running, but when I try to find the Ledger app on my Pixel 4, it is not coming up. So I don't know what they've done on the Android side. I don't know if it's went to subscription, or if they pulled it, or if they're reworking it. So I'll have to do a little more research and do an update, but I hadn't had it installed because I usually use the Bookshare Reader app or Dolphin Easy Reader. So, but I do know that the Ledger, I guess they had better text to speech voices built in.
This is Suva.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. Yes. So That is very interesting. So you can't even find it, but it could be because you're running beta. So okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah,
a beta tester, so it should have come up because it should have come up because I've installed it before.
oh,
But when
okay.
I just did a search, so it's not on any of my phones right now. But
Oh
when I
wow,
did a
this is
search,
great. Whoa.
yeah, so when I did a search, it didn't come up. But like I said, I might need to go in and type it instead of I just did a quick voice search for it.
And I think this is Hershey on the Google side. I don't remember them having a bundle deal because it's weird with how Google was doing the deliverables. So like I think it was $5.99 was for scanner, and then like $7.99 or I forget the exact price for reader, but reader was a little bit more expensive. And yeah, so like I don't, this is gonna be interesting. Everybody's going subscription, and yeah,
How do you spell it? Is it Ledger or what? How do you spell it?
Legere or
Oh,
yeah,
okay, no D, but
Legier.
a G. Okay.
This is super. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
This is
Anybody?
Eric.
Go ahead, Eric.
Have you heard of Google Lookout?
Yes.
Yeah, they mentioned it at the convention. I downloaded it. It's actually pretty good. It's still in beta testing, but I was kind of impressed with it. Its ability to read text pretty quickly.
So Eric, this is Hershey. So what do you enjoy about Lookout personally from the first spin around, so to speak?
I think it's mostly just the kind of the real time, real time text reading seemed to be pretty good, and just identifying objects in real time. Just kind of basic stuff.
Right.
I use it frequently.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. And that's Janice, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like
Awesome.
it. I use it a lot.
So it's interesting if you guys do spin back to the YouTube channel that we have. So just in YouTube, if you typed in iBug today and then typed in Android Insight, you'll find an episode which is probably last June, I want to say. Scott came from the Lookout team, and we talked about like where it's going, how it's going, and then all of a sudden we have AI. It just came out of nowhere and just slapped everybody across the face. So now we're all about AI, I guess, now in the 2023 of this year that we are. And so what's interesting is with all of these apps, we're always looking for comparables. So seeing AI is on iOS, and the Lookout app or Lookout Assisted Vision is how I typically like to say it because that's what it's on Google Play. It just makes it easier for people to find. And so the book, or excuse me, the food stuff, the food labels, that was already pretty much available. You have text reader, and then you have document reader, and then you have Explorer, I believe, and then let's see, there's
Image.
currency,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a good all-in-one app. Between that app and an Envision AI, Envision AI, I like Envision AI's document scanning a little bit better because it cleans stuff up for me as a low vision user. So if I'm using like a UPS label, or I'm like, hey, what is that routing number or blah 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 number? It's easier for me to locate the details. And then again with images, if, like I said, with the Google News that I heard recently, as Laura from Google had mentioned about, uh, just the way of making things better, of reading an image and like knowing what's in an image. So images and stuff is getting better. Um, these are some of the tools I guess I do kind of trust at this point, at least Envision AI and Google Lookout. Uh, of course, there's SuperSense, which I don't really use often. Um, then there are a couple others that are available out there, but it's not like Sullivan Plus. There it is. That's the name, Sullivan. It's not to say that there aren't great apps, but again, leisure, voice stream, this, that, and the other, they did great on one platform, and then the other platform, it's like, wait, why did you guys change the name on Android? What, we're not good enough? So it's all about money, I guess, at the end of the day. Who knows? But I guess as far as workability, put in your feedback. Feedback is really, really important at this point.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead.
The one free solution to that has high quality text to speech voices is reading mode, and that's system wide. So now they've stabilized it, and it's in the top right hand corner. We used to have to hunt for it, but you can activate reading mode for PDFs and different. Well, sometimes it says it won't work in the PDF, but it ends up working anyway. But you can use reading mode, and so that does more the play, pause, previous and next that Lookout doesn't have yet. So
Where is reading mode? Reading mode where?
you have to download it, and then it'll ask you if you want to have an icon on the screen. And if you enable that part, then now it seems like after this last update, it's always in the top right hand corner. You used to kind of have to hunt
Kevin,
for it.
If I hit the pause tape real quick, we're gonna go to Google Play Store. Number 1, number 2, we're gonna type in reading mode. Number 3, we're gonna hit install now. Right? Are we on the same page so far? Maybe. Am I driving the car right? They let me drive, man.
Yeah, that's called reading mode, and you can install it from the Play Store. And if you get something else, put in Google reading mode, because it's a Google product.
There you go. So it is a Google product. So we got to try, like we were talking about
earlier. I got a new app to play with. Yeah.
And just to let y'all know, it works beautifully because I accidentally downloaded it. And didn't know I did, but I did, and I actually used it. So it does work nicely. But to let everybody know, we're down to the last 2 minutes of the show. So this will be our last question and comment so we can wrap up. So any other questions, comments about this?
Yeah, this is Foster. So Hershey, being low vision, do you ever use Microsoft Lens?
I used it once upon a time, but I don't even use Google Lens anymore either. So that explains more. It works. It doesn't work. It was just like it felt gimmicky.
All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming to the show. Just remember, our iBug movie night is Friday night. Primal Fear, 1996 is the movie. And the Apple workshop on Saturday at 2. And iBug Trekkie night tomorrow night will be up. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, August 16th. So I look forward to seeing everybody then. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
everyone.
Take care. Bye bye.
I'm downloading reading mode.